So the idea of going back even farther about where we came from involves a concept that scientists have called panspermia. Panspermia is the idea that certain kinds of biological elements, elements of DNA, can travel through space on comets and meteors. And when they land on another planet, they actually seed that planet with that DNA material, which can then, based on the conditions of that particular planet, allow that DNA to blossom, to grow, to combine molecularly, to become the precursor for life on that planet as it happened on Earth. So our DNA may have originated on another planet, another solar system, even another galaxy entirely. And when it arrived on Earth and began the process of evolution as the molecules combined under the proper conditions, it may have given rise to the beings that naturally evolved on Earth and eventually led to the naturally evolved hominid called Homo erectus, at which point the Anunnaki then changed that evolutionary path by giving over to their DNA, the human species, the Homo sapiens, creating us to be something that sort of jumped out of that evolutionary path. The natural hominids eventually evolving over the eons into Sasquatch may in fact have watched all of this happen from their own perspective, from their own position, and may not necessarily be capable of really relating to us because we became kind of the aliens on Earth. So we may eventually find that we can communicate once again with our ancestors, with the Sasquatch beings, Bigfoot, Yeti, by all the names they go by. Eventually, as we expand ourselves, as we learn of our true origins, as we relate to the idea of nature on Earth, as we become less foreign, in a sense, to the Earth by reclaiming and recapturing our humanity, our ancestry, we may be able to eventually create communication with the Sasquatch and rejoin that particular branch of humanity. But we will see if that happens one day. This is a very complex story with many different angles to it, many different perspectives to it. But it is the story overall of humanity. It is the story overall of where we came from, according to the channeled information that I brought through. So it's a very interesting story that has many, many chapters to it, has many different points of view to it. And it is something that we can continue to investigate until ultimately, perhaps one day, we will know the entire story of humanity, the entire story of our galactic family that we belong to. And we will be able to tell that story to the next generation and the next generation so they can continue to evolve to wherever it is humanity is heading, perhaps going from Homo sapiens to Homo galacticus. Now, I have mentioned that because of the Anunnaki's introduction of their genetics into the early hominid, Homo sapiens became a kind of hybrid species already. And later on in the series, we're going to talk about another introduction, another infusion of extraterrestrial genetics to create a different kind of hybrid. And this will eventually dovetail into the evolution of humanity. But we will get to that later on. One other thing I would like to add that goes hand in hand with the evolution of life on Earth is going back to the panspermia idea, because people have often wondered, well, a lot of these extraterrestrials come to Earth. Why do they look so human? Why are they so similar to us? And I think, as the channeling has explained, panspermia can kind of happen in clusters in different areas in the galaxy, so that one kind of DNA might infuse planets in one area of the galaxy, and another kind of DNA, another arrangement of DNA, might infuse planets in another area of the galaxy. So there might be pockets in the galaxy of the kind of DNA that, when it finds the right conditions on a planet, may actually evolve into humanoid species. And that may be why a lot of the extraterrestrials we hear reports of also look very much like human beings. Or perhaps even more appropriately, we look like them. For example, Bashar's people are humanoid, but they are related to us genetically. And again, that may be what a lot of scientists are missing, because when they say, well, why are these aliens all looking human? They may have had the answer all along, but really missed the point. And that is that all the ones that do look somewhat human may in fact be genetically related to us, and therefore aren't exactly as alien as we may think. The idea of self can only exist if there is an idea or an experience of other than self. From the channeled information that has come through me, the very existence of space and time, in a sense, is proof of parallel realities. It's all the same moment from a different point of view, from a different perspective. Humans have for a while had this great fear that if we create artificial intelligence, it's going to become so superior to us that it's going to wipe us out. Well, he's saying true intelligence, true artificial intelligence would never do that, because it understands that humans are part of the whole system.